Thanks for joining me on this episode of Twisted Wrench Garage, where we're going to tear into the interior of Project Black Pearl so we can start getting it updated and getting it to look the way we want it to. So what I'm wanting to do here, and I'm going to need your guys' input on this because I'm still kind of undecided on the interior of this thing. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start pulling these seal plates. I'm probably going to try to work on getting those kind of cleaned up and maybe paint those gold maybe. I am going to pull this carpet out of here. Today we're going to be pulling this bench seat out. It's a real simple task, 4 bolts on, 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts over there, and we can get that seat bolt all the way out. I want to pull this carpet out because down in here, because when I was looking at the truck, I could see a little bit of rust starting to form down in here because the seal on the windshield isn't the greatest right in this corner. And you can kind of see it from out here. It actually has split, so I wouldn't doubt that that's letting water get by and letting it get underneath that carpet. And I really don't want that water sitting on this carpet and this padding because it'll just rust out this floor real bad. I mean, you can even see it right in there. You can see those orange spots and stuff. So I want to get all this carpet out, and I think what I'm going to do is actually go get this floor prepped and get it coated with some Herculiner floor coating, because this, like I said, this is going to be the work truck of the shop. So I want to be able to keep the floors relatively clean, and if I have to wash them out, I just want to be able to hose them out with the hose and call it good. So we're going to hop in here. We're going to spray some lube on these bolts on the bench seat here, let those sit for a while we go ahead and pull all the trim from around the edges. That way we can also get this headliner out, because I also want to redo the headliner. But what I was talking about when it came to needing your guys' help on the truck is I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to take all the interior trim and dash to black, or if I want to leave all of it red and go black on the floor with the black Herculiner, and then, you know, maybe redo the seat in black. Because I did look at some pictures of the Black Pearl's captain's quarters, and I do want to say that there was some red in it. So if you guys can give me a little input, you know, maybe we can find out what exactly I should do. Give me some ideas, because I know that I'm going to be doing this silver in here. Instead of being silver, I've got a gold pin. I'm going to be going over with that, so it'll be either all black with the gold pin striping all around all that stuff, or it'll be red with this gold pin striping. So you guys let me know down there in the comments below. But while you guys are commenting, we're gonna hop in and start getting this pulled apart. All right, so I got my boy over there spraying that side. I've already got this side sprayed down. It's soaking. We're gonna go ahead and grab our Phillips heads. We're gonna start pulling all this trim all the way around off, being really careful to try not to break it. Just being in here, and this piece right here just broke and fell down, so I'm gonna have to see about maybe fixing that or getting another one. So we're gonna go through this process real delicately and get all this stuff pulled out all the way around. We'll have to pull the visors out too to get this headliner out. So we'll bring you guys back once we got all that completed. So we got all the side trim off of the top pieces around here on the top. We don't have these side pieces off, but I'm gonna let my boy go ahead and pull this headliner off, because it's just dripping stuff all over us. So if you want to pull this up, pull it from here, Bubba, and take it that way, we can throw it in that dumpster over there. Oh, there are pins in it?
I got it. They're not really held in by much of anything.
Okay. Oh, so much crap falling down. Oh, that's good.
We're tossing this?
Yeah, we're gonna toss that.
Okay.
It'll get replaced with something different.
Ew.
Oh yeah.
Can't imagine that's safe to breathe.
All right, let's pull this seat out. All right, let's lift. Just keep coming forward. Not to drop your end, go to the steering wheel. Just let me know when you're good to drop. All right. Just gonna set this in here. Whew, all right. Thanks to the help of my oldest boy there, we got that seat out real quick. Didn't take very long. I got the covers for the speakers that go into the doors, so those will have to go back in there when we get some speakers for it. We still need to get the trim plates removed. Just starting to get a collection of stuff in the back of Ramona here. Gonna have to clean her out and get her back out on the road again. Been a minute since I driven her, but as you can see, a lot of these pieces of trim are okay. Got a couple pieces that didn't fare too bad. Here and here, there's a crack on this one that needs to be repaired. Also here, there's a crack needs to be repaired. This is the one that goes above the back windshield. I'm not sure if that one's going to be fixable or not, so we'll see. All right, I think we're ready to start pulling some carpet out of this old girl. It should just lift right out. Oh, there's a comb. Anybody need to brush their hair?
There's a quarter in there.
Oh, there's one of those rubber plugs. Probably should keep a hold of that. Any kind of plugs that are on the bottom of it. There's going to be holes at the bottom here so you can reach the body bolts, as well as it lets it drain. Well, the floors, they are pretty crusty, but I think they're still going to be usable. I'm not going to worry about it too bad, but we're going to wire wheel these and we're going to get them coated anyway. So we're going to get this carpet pulled all the rest of the way out. Probably going to go ahead and get rid of all this as well, because that's just not going to be any good. And we'll have to get all this vacuumed out. Right here I can see busted glass. So this truck has had a broken window at some point in time. So somebody may have broke into this truck at some point in the past. So it's just really cool, all the things that you can find underneath carpet whenever you pull carpet out of a vehicle that, you know, has been alive for 41 years. You know what I mean? You just find so much cool stuff sometimes. So we'll get the rest of this pulled out. We'll start getting it vacuumed out and cleaned and start getting it ready to get redone.
I can pull it in my direction.
Yep. All right, got that padding pulled out. Still cleaning up here, but wanted to show you what we found. We're still adding up our profits here. We got what, 25, 50, 72 cents so far. 72 cents in the positive. But from what I can tell, I see some more busted glass there, so it looks like maybe the back window maybe was the one that got busted. But it's really hard to tell. You really don't ever know these things for sure. But we'll get back. We'll just keep going, keep working at it. Got a lot of cleaning to do in here. All right, so before we start vacuuming the floor, this stuff's going to keep falling down on us, and we do still need to get this pulled out. Need to get these last pieces of trim on the sides pulled out, and I think after those are pulled, we have to pull the seat belts off of these top portions to get these off of these seat belts. But we do need to vacuum this out. Just real easy. Go back and forth on it. Get a lot of this off. That way it's not making a big mess in the garage when we get to it. Because a lot of this stuff's going to want to fall down on us. So we'll get this taken care of. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is, as we've already got it vacuumed out best we can right now, I went through and I knocked loose some of the hard rusty spots on the floor, and I did find a couple little holes. There's one over on the tunnel here, and then there's another one here that obviously you couldn't see it before, but once we got it cleaned up you can actually see it a little bit. But I'll address that with just something real easy, like I'm not really too worried about it. But I do want to take this wire wheel and go over all these rusty spots and get those kind of cleaned up, because I do want to spray a rust converter on here to kind of slow this stuff down and keep it from progressing any further. So rather than you guys having to hear me run this thing or kind of set up a time lapse, I'm gonna just go ahead and knock this out real quick. All right, well, we did get all this wire brushed. I got all the heavy stuff knocked off. That's all I really wanted to do. These holes I'm just gonna end up covering with probably some foil tape, and then we'll just coat over it. I'm not too worried about getting it fully repaired. The rest of the floors are actually pretty decent, so I'm not going to let that ruin it for me and have to replace the entire floor or whatever. So I'll just cover that up and coat it. It'll be fine, not a big deal. But what I do want to go ahead and do now is, since I've got everything knocked off, you know, rust wise for the heavy stuff, we're going to take this rust treatment stuff. We're just going to go over it and coat all of that. It'll go on clear, but as it dries, it'll actually turn black. It turns the rust into sodium dioxide or something. But this is just to help prevent the rust from progressing any further. It'll just convert whatever rust is there into a paintable surface. I'm not going to go super heavy on it. I just need to coat it good enough to convert that stuff so we can coat it with the floor coating. Stuff's got some smell to it. This driver's side was way worse than the passenger side. Switch hands here. Alright. So, I'll just go ahead and coat this whole thing and I'll bring you right back when it's all done. Alright, I got the whole floor coated where the rust is with that rust coating. I ran out, and so I just did what I could. It'll be fine. This does take 24 hours to dry, so I think that's where we're gonna have to call it for today on this. But tomorrow when we get back out here, we will actually start getting to taping off some of this stuff and getting it coated with that bed coating. I think it'll turn out looking really good. But like I said, this stuff just needs to dry. Let it get that full 24-hour cure time, then it'll be a nice paintable surface for us. I could go and grab some more of that rust treatment. I'll decide whether or not here in a few hours. I'll come out and look at it. If I still see some rusty areas where it didn't get good enough coated, I'll go ahead and buy another can of that stuff. But we'll see where it looks like here in a couple hours. Well, guys, we're back on another day working on Black Pearl here. Gave it, the 24 hours or so to fully cure for that rust converter. I can show you guys what it looks like. It didn't really get everything. I put a really good coat on it. I actually ended up going and getting another can of that stuff, and I gave it another good coat. So let me show you what it looks like now. So I mean, it did a good job converting majority of it. I'm not gonna worry about the rest of it. What I am gonna do is I need to address these holes that are here, and I'm not gonna go and start cutting out this floor and putting in a whole nother floor pan. And I know I said yesterday I'm gonna put some foil tape over it and probably call it good. I did when I was up picking up the Herculiner for the bed floor, or for the floor. I did pick up some short strand fiberglass filler, and that's actually what I'm gonna use to fill those holes. I'm gonna put the foil tape on the underneath to give me something to, have it on to fill up the gap, so the fiberglass resin can, set in there and make a good bond. Directions say to, bring it to bare metal, so you have a good, surface it can attach to. Don't think we have to worry about that. We're good there. I did find a couple other little pinholes that I need to address with that stuff, and that'll be real simple. So we'll have to get some of that mixed up, and we'll get that slapped on here. So I'm gonna get underneath there, put some of that foil tape underneath to cover up some of those holes. That way the fiberglass filler doesn't just go all the way through. So I'll get that taken care of. Let me show you those other little holes I found here. I showed you this one here. This was the biggest one here. You can see the rail there. Then we have some in here, a couple little holes. I took a screwdriver and I poked all throughout this thing to make sure I was finding all of them. I mean, it's still structurally, there. So I'm just gonna throw a coat of fiberglass filler over these holes. Here, and there's a couple more here that I found in this indentioned area. So I'll throw some more on that in there. I'll probably throw a little skim coat of it over this whole surface here, probably. That way I can smooth it all out, make it look a little bit better, but we'll see. I'm not really that concerned about it. That Herculiner's got a nice textured surface to it, and I mean, you probably won't even notice this stuff once it's on there, but I mean, who knows? We'll see. Never done this before, so let's get to work. And that's what I'm just looking for. I'm just looking for it to, cover up the holes. That way when I lay that layer of fiberglass in there, it'll actually have something to actually hold it there while it cures. I wasn't able to get all of them. There's one little spot here I wasn't able to get to because there's a frame rail that runs right around here, and I wasn't able to get to that, but it'll be fine. So let's go mix some of that stuff up and let's get it applied. So the Bondo choice we're going to be using is this short strand fiberglass reinforced filler. It fills holes in metal, wood, or fiberglass. Who would have thought? up to a 1/2 inch. Ours are a little bigger than a 1/2 inch, but it'll be okay. Directions, you know, sand to a bare surface as needed with 3M80 grit sandpaper. That's pretty much bare metal, I'm gonna say. I mean, it's got that rust converter on it, which is fine. That gives us like a primable, paintable surface, so we don't have to worry about that. Need creamer, blah blah blah. For a golf ball size amount of filler, squeeze out 1¼ inch strip of hardener, or mix a 3-inch diameter circle, 1/2 inch thick of filler to 3-inch strip of cream hardener. Mix thoroughly to a uniform color on clean, non-porous surface. We got the spreader cardboard, we use that. Do not add cream hardener in filler container, obviously. Mix small portions so it doesn't dry on you while you're working on it. Sure. But let's make some up. I got this paint stick. Well, it's actually a handle to a paintbrush I had sitting over there. So I'm just going to use that to kind of stir this up a bit. Make sure it's got a good mixture here. Can't really reach the bottom with it is the problem. It's not as long as I'd really like it to be, but it'll be fine. Some nice thick stuff though. So, said for a golf ball size, let's grab our cardboard here. Let's use our stick to get it out if we can. Not really wanting to come out very well. I'm probably going to need more than that, but if I need to make more, I'll make more. I don't want to overdo it. So, let's just stick that down right there. And we'll put the cap back on. Get this stuff all over my table. Always make sure you close your stuff back up. Just set this here. Make sure this stuff gets open. Yeah, we're good. Alright, so let's put that much in there. How about a little more? Just a dab. So we'll take that, and when you need that, well, you gotta get it mixed real well. So kneading it, you fold it, flatten it on itself. Probably could have used a better piece of cardboard because I'm gonna get it everywhere. So you'll know you're done with it when it changes color all the way to whatever color it's going to be. Next time, use something better. Gotcha. So it's turned into like a dark green color from that light blue with the bluish stuff, I guess, greenish stuff. It's almost done mixing up. Kind of curious how much of this I'm gonna end up having to use. I've only got so much time to do stuff today. So today's my wife's birthday, so I'm gonna spend some time with her. Alright, I'm going to say that's probably good. Let's get out there and let's put some of this on the truck while I make a mess everywhere. Let's get this applied before it sets up on us. Fill up those holes. And I'm sure I'm making a lot of people mad by doing this, but I mean, what else do you expect me to do? I don't have a full-on shop that I can tear out the floors, leave the truck sitting for a while. All I'm doing is just trying to make it to where it doesn't leak as much, and I can just drive it. This is probably going to be enough for me, honestly. Can already feel it getting hard on my piece of paper here. Already starting to set up. So, if you're working with it and you're doing what I'm doing, you gotta work fast. But no one said you have to do what I do, guys. This is just my personal rig, how I want to get it set up. Yeah, it's already starting to get hard. So, oh yeah. Oh, that's good. It's, yeah. Pull that off of there. That's done. So I'm gonna let this cure for a little bit. Let it. It says about 10-15 minutes. So I mean, I messed it up right there. Which is fine. We can sand it and reapply as we need. Did I get all the holes though? Yeah, I could use a little more right there. And I kind of want to throw another skim coat over this area here, maybe in there and in here. That other side I'm not going to worry too much about. So let's let this cure for a little while. Let me clean up my spreader here. We'll get a better piece of board for mixing this stuff up on, and then we'll get back in here and we'll apply some more. Alright guys, so I went ahead and let this cure for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just to where it was nice and hard enough for me to sand. And I've just scuffed this down some, kind of smoothing it out. I'm going to vacuum this area out again. I'm going to wipe this out, and I'm going to lay another coat down over this whole area here, and then probably, let's see, yeah, I think I'll be fine right there. I'm just going to hit it right through this area. I'm going to hit that inside corner again, and I think we'll call it good there, because I think the rest of it will be fine. Might be a little thin up there, but I think we'll be okay. We will be just fine. Again, guys, I'm not looking for perfection on this. I'm just looking for it to be better. Because, you know, if you don't know already, this channel, it's a budget channel. So, let me get some mixed back up and we'll get back to work. All right, we laid our second coat down. I think that's probably going to be the final coat, and I'll just go over it again with the 120 grit sandpaper. I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about anything else. I think that Herculiner will help strengthen a lot of this other stuff up. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. So we'll just go over that lightly with some 120 once it gets dried and cured good well enough. And then I think the next steps are gonna be to get this whole area cleaned out once, get it, you know, nice and dry, get all this dirt and dust and stuff out that we can. And we'll go over it with some Scotch-Brite, and then we will blow it out, wipe it down with some wax and grease remover, and then we'll be ready to start laying down some Herculiner. So I'm gonna let that cure for a little while, and then I'll do the sanding on it as I need. Don't think I'm gonna have to add any more coats. If I do, I can show you guys that later. I'm gonna go over there and double check that other side, make sure I don't need to add any over there. This stuff will be plenty strong, guys. I know, you know, you guys are seeing me do a lot of odd things on this truck, like this right here, this kind of repair. And I know some of you have been following along this build for a while, and some of you haven't. Some of you are new to the build, and you know, I just want to let everyone to know that this truck isn't anywhere near doesn't have the ability to be all original or anything like that, because this is built out of like 3 or 4 different trucks. I mean, the cab and the front end, that's all in 81. The bed, that's like an 81 to 84, I think, because they stopped making the step side beds in 84. The frame, all the suspension down underneath it, all that's like an 86 and up, because it's got the big bolt pattern, 5 by 5.5. Doesn't have the small bolt pattern that like 81 should have. So I mean, there's a lot of things about this truck that make it not original. So I'm just helping it along so we can keep it on the road and, you know, actually get some work out of it, because it deserves to be on the road working. You know, it spent 20-something plus years of its life sitting, not running, not driving. So let's get it back on the road. Well, I think that's where I'm going to call it good right there. Like I said, I'm not looking for perfection. It's a lot smoother than it was. So you can still feel some of the low spots in it from the holes from where it rusted rusted in that steel, but our holes are gonna be nice and strong now. I'm not worried about that. I think that's gonna be just fine. So I already sanded it down, as you guys can tell. The next steps we're gonna need to do is wash it out. We'll get some like Dawn dish soap or something. We'll use that, clean out the floors a little bit, get those kind of cleaned up, get all the dirt and stuff that we can out. Then we'll let it dry. Probably we'll wash it out this afternoon, and then let it dry overnight. That way it'll have plenty of time to dry. We still need to finish scuffing it up, so I might go ahead and do that. But we'll go over that lightly with a scuff pad that I got, and then this will be pretty much almost ready to start laying that Herculiner. So really excited to see how it's going to turn out. Do need to tape off some stuff before we get to that, so I'll do that as well, and I'll kind of show you what I'm going to do, because I have an idea that I think I'm going to do over on these kick panels here to kind of give it a little more protection. But yeah, I think that's it for this part. All right, so went in and had some lunch and got cooled down a little bit and decided to come back out here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some of this red Scotch-Brite over all of the whole entire thing, and then we can throw some soapy water on it, kind of get it cleaned up, brushed out, then rinsed out, and then let it dry overnight so we can come back out here tomorrow and actually get the Herculiner applied. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to work doing this, get this all taken care of. We'll get that all cleaned out and I'll bring it back and show you what it looks like, and we'll be done for today. I'm done going over this whole thing. I went ahead and turned it up a notch. I went ahead and attached some 120 to my hand sander here, and I went over the entire thing that I could get to with it, and then anything I couldn't get, I went and actually hit with this red Scotch-Brite here. That way I know I'm going to get a good adhesion with that Herculiner. I just wasn't getting it as smooth as I really wanted. I've been going over it little by little, rubbing my hand on it as I'm sanding it, making sure I'm hitting everything. So what I've actually got done now is I've just got my shop vac set up in blow mode, and I'm just going to use this to blow out all this dust from me sanding out of here. A lot of people don't realize they can do this with their shop vac, but yeah, then turn your shop vac into a little blower. That way you don't have to get the air compressor all fired up and filled just for this one little thing. Just blow all this out. But yeah, we'll blow all this out. We'll get all the nooks and crannies, and actually use some of my wax and grease remover, and I'll wipe down this whole thing before we actually coat it down with that Herculiner. So I just wanted to update you and show you what it was looking like at its current state. Let me show you that other side. Man, it's a little dark right here, but hopefully you can get a good view. Like I said, I just went over the entire thing with the 120 on the hand sander just to get everything gone over real nice, and then anything I couldn't get with that, I went with that red Scotch-Brite, and that'll give us a good texture for our Herculiner to attach to. But I think we're getting to the pretty close to the point where I'm going to call it a day today. So I'll check you guys out tomorrow. Ooh, that sun is bright. But we're back again on another day of Twisted Wrench Garage working on Black Pearl. We're going to finish up doing this floor today. I went ahead and spent some time and wiped down this back wall here. I'm going to tape up around some of this stuff that I don't want to get that floor coating on. And then I will wipe this down with some wax and grease remover, and then we'll start getting the coating down. So let me go ahead and get some of this stuff masked off so that I don't want to get that stuff on. And then we'll bring you guys back and we'll start getting to coating this. Just finished going over it again with this wax and grease remover. I wiped it down once, went ahead and taped over everything that I don't want that stuff getting on, and then wiped it down with this cloth. And I mean, you can probably see some of that dirt. That's why we wipe it down before we lay down any kind of paint or anything like that. Because I mean, like I said before, I washed that inside there and I've wiped it down a couple times, and it still pulled stuff off the floor. So always make sure you're using this before you're doing any kind of painting or anything like that. So let's get in here and let's get to work on getting this coated. All right, here we go. We're gonna start coating this floor. I went ahead and I've got my Herculiner here. It's all shaken up, even though it says not to. Got it shaken up. I'll stir it a little bit with the brush there. I'm gonna go over all the tight to reach areas with this brush, and then all the flat areas I'll hit with that roller. We'll do probably 2 coats, I think, I want to say. But I'll get going on this. Pop this open. Like I said, we're just gonna brush it on with the little 2-inch brush here to get in all the little tight areas, and then we'll use that roller for the flats. So let me get you guys set up in a position. We'll get to work on getting this going. There it is after one good coat. I'm gonna hit it one more time with what I have left. I don't have very much. It's probably about that much left in the bottom of that, and most of it is the gritty stuff for it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna focus on these areas where I hit with the brush where it was harder, because it's gonna just sink down in there and it's gonna fill that up nicely. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this cure for a little while, let it get a little good, you know, cure on it. That way I can actually come back, throw another coat of what's in that can on the footwell area here and over there, and I might hit this flat areas in here a little bit better where it's a little thin, I can see. So not too concerned about it. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. You just got to give it some time and we'll get back to work on it. And there we go, guys, final coat on. Just that last bit I had. I'm really happy with it. I think it turned out real good. There are a couple little light spots, like in some areas that I didn't get real thick on it, but I mean, it's not really that big a deal. I think it turned out great. I think it's gonna work out great for what I want to do. Really like the way it came out. We even went down inside the base down there. Looks good. As you guys can tell, I also put a thin coat on this area here where that kick plate goes, just to add a little protection. I noticed that there were some chips in the paint there that, you know, if water gets underneath that, it will end up corroding. So I just do that light coat on there. But with that's it for another episode of Twisted Wrench Garage. I'm happy with the way it came out. I do want to say thank you to everyone who is subscribing to the channel. We almost hit that 500 member mark. We hit 500 members, we'll be able to unlock the memberships. That way you guys can subscribe to the channel with the membership, and then I can actually try to help, you know, that'll actually help me try to get more videos out. That kind of makes you guys the sponsors of the video. So I'm still deciding on price. Maybe you guys can comment down below what you guys think is fair. You know, we'll kind of go from there. I think I only need like 20 something subscribers now for us to hit 500, and that'll unlock that membership. I do have some ideas for some specialty things, maybe for the members that do decide to join and become sponsors of the channel. But again, I do appreciate you guys tuning in and watching another episode with me and hanging out in the garage. We'll check you guys out on the next episode.